Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is
Epithet, a characterizing word or phrase accompanying or occurring in place of the name of a person or thing. A disparaging or abusive word or phrase, the part of a taxonomic name identifying a subordinate unit within a genus. So I struggled with this a little bit because it's just very negative. Usually it's like a racial epithet or some sort of just straight up insulting, terminology. The one example was like a dirty old man. No matter what, it was describing somebody in a negative way. And I read on it and it wasn't always negative. There used to be positive epithets as well, but nowadays it's just a very negative thing. So I struggled a little bit in how do you make a game out of something so negative, but you can, and people do. But what I thought was a game that plays in two phases. We have the high school phase and the college phase. And in high school, you're going to take actions. You're going to do the things that you do. You're going to gain some statistics based off of the things that you do as well as the things that other people do and the way they all work together. And at the end of this high school phase, you're going to earn some sort of designation. And they all have a negative side to them, but they're not generally offensive. They also have positive sides of them, but what I want is the negative side to be the part that people focus on. So class clown, for example, shyest, nonconformist. These are all, people get voted in high school into one of these categories. And while class clown could be good, you could lead to a career in comedy or writing or something along those lines. Shyest just means that you kept to yourself, but you may have kept to your family and not so much the school. And nonconformist means you're different than everybody else, but at the same time, you're an individual. So while they all have positive and negative sides, we're going to say that the negative side is what's going to impact you down the line. So it's gonna shape the future. Once we get into the college phase, you now have some sort of designation. Class clown means that you have to work in groups. You need an audience. You always have to go first. So that's all, potentially a negative in this game. Shyest means that you only work alone and your reach isn't as far as others. Your network isn't as far. Nonconformist might mean that you can't take an action that someone else took in the same turn. So I want to think about a game where this would work because the high school to college simulator game just sounds terrible. I think that you don't want to do a simulation where we go through high school, we get some sort of designation, and we go through college. I think you want to find something very specific, focus on it, and have this sort of enable that and be a side to it. So I thought it might be neat to look at the really small part of high school or college, and it was something like a sport. I looked at like being on a high school baseball team, and then once we all go to college and we go to different colleges, we're all going to play against each other. But I shifted away from baseball because baseball's generally one-on-one, and I wanted something that could be a little more where we're all playing together. So I thought of like a bowling team. We're all on the same high school bowling team, and the actions that we take over the course of the game are going to shape which one of those designations we get at the end of the phase. So, somebody's bowling and they do some fancy moves, they might become the class clown. Somebody, never rolls the same, they become the nonconformist. They don't have they don't do the natural way to play. Shyest is, and I'm abstracting it here, but the person who got the most ones, But it doesn't have to be that mathematical. It could be a little more story-driven, Shyest is the person who I don't know. I'm guessing at this point. But anyway, so that's the idea. We play through high school. Then we graduate. We get these designations. We go to college. And we were all on the same team before. And there could be some sort of competitive side to that. And even if it's not, or not competitive, cooperative side to that. Even if it's not us, straight cooperating, we were all in it together. And now it's college. We all went to different colleges, and we're competing against each other. But because we're all there, these names come back up again. So shyest, class clown, and things like that. And these are all going to impact how you perform at this big tournament. Your nickname comes back. If you're class clown, you have to go first, which may or may not be good in bowling. And there's a whole thing in making this all work together. But yeah, that's the idea, is that there's two parts to it. You get this designation, and it gives you some sort of negative, a negative aspect in the second phase. And then I started thinking about how it's cooperative and then competitive, which is also kind of neat. So I just didn't want to make high school to college the game. And I feel like putting a sport in it, making it about music class, making it about, drama club, making it about the environmental club, any real specific, high school activity could at least shape it into a game and not just a simulation. So that's it. That's all I've got for Epithet. It's a hard one because it deals with insults and name calling and things like that are hard to make in a game, but I get somewhere, I think. Let me know if you come up with anything, and we'll do this again tomorrow. It's back with me and Rob. All right, thanks. See ya.